Good morning. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for being here. So I'm going to switch gears a little bit here because in my opinion, I'm not talking about psychic or mediumship here. It feels like the Nancy Grace situation is going to slowly trickle down, and that's the holy prayer, or the Our Father prayer. Okay, so July 16th, 1999, I know exactly where I was when the news came on the television that John F. Kennedy Jr., John's plane was missing off the coast of Martha's Vineyard, I think. I was in a small northern Ontario town called Timmins, Ontario, home of Shania Twain. And we saw, was it? I don't know. I know that all I know is one of the twins was with John. There's something here about Savannah Guthrie. Maybe it's because it's to do with New York. But one of the twins, Caroline's twin, was with her, Lauren? Was it Lauren? I think it was Lauren. Perished in those waters. I know exactly where I was. Now, I'm just going to make a few comments right now because never have I ever. I listened to, is it Maureen Callahan's podcast regarding dumpster diving regarding John F. Kennedy Jr. She has a kind of like a book out there regarding the women that were hurt and abused by the Kennedys. It's almost like this thick. I would never buy it. I don't recommend that YouTube channel. It's not often that I do talk about a specific channel, but this is called The Nerve. She's actually the one that had the nerve to have Donna Presley on her channel. And we also see that dingbat out in the United Kingdom praise this channel. Okay. So we are getting set for the American women and the Canadian women hockey team to meet today for the gold medal. But I want to talk about Caroline Bessette Kennedy, because I'm almost convinced that he got himself ensnared with a vicious psychopath. This is, you know, because I had a different dream this morning, and this is the dream I dreamed. This was some kind of memorabilia that YouTuber out there in the United Kingdom is talking about regarding some new other friend that he has. I'm sorry, I just have to say this. Anyways, so Camelot, because John F. Kennedy Jr. was an incredible person. I remember everybody had Google eyes for him. Now, I can almost predict here what happened to him because we see her. He was most likely involved with someone that was like the Transylvania deck, just like a vampire sucking everything out from his life. I feel like he was the one that was going to start the divorce proceedings, but we see her being late at that magnificent wedding. How many women can say that their husband would go to those lengths to create a wonderful, wonderful wedding incognito? Okay, they had 30 guests there. I watched some incredible home movie footage. Now, back to this ragweed out there spreading gossip about John F. Kennedy Jr. This is that Maureen probably acting like a Savannah Guthrie. I kind of wonder where your mind goes, because this is a fellow New Yorker of John F. Kennedy Jr. I think this Maureen Callahan is a graduate of journal school. Where does your mind go that you want to spread all this smut and gossip about John F. Kennedy Jr.? Almost insinuated that he did an unalive yourself with his wife and her sister or his sister-in-law. You have to keep in mind that narcissists, psychopaths compartmentalize, okay? So I just don't think it's your June's journey to come out here and spread gossip about people that aren't here. That's what's happening in the Elvis Presley community. That's what's happening on John F. Kennedy Jr.'s son right now, or John F. Kennedy's son right now. You know, when John F. Kennedy Jr. most likely crossed the path of a very vicious, jealous person, and then once they sealed the deal with the ring on it, it didn't take too long for the problems to erupt. She made him wait 3 weeks. She didn't have a job, and then his job became her job. The George job became, this is where the wife shows up. And now all of a sudden, I agree with Maureen on that, because that did happen to me, where the wife is suddenly the boss that shows up to work. But she dangled John F. Kennedy Jr. waiting for her to say yes. And then she was actually waiting, and possibly something out there like Meghan Markle, but we see Prince Andrew getting charged out there. So there's a few things that I have to talk about today, but in particular, it's this Maureen Callahan, okay? Because I have never heard anything so nasty about John F. Kennedy Jr. in my entire life. I don't know who this chick thinks she is, but she's a little bit unhinged, okay? I'm Not a Perfect Person is the name of the lyric today. I don't know if that's by Hoobastank. I don't really know. But anyways, welcome here. Okay. Yeah, I had a feeling this was going to come out here today. You know, Elvis Presley made women cry for the right reasons. I have to say it, okay, because that guy acting like he's the captain of Elvis Presley, whoever gave, just 1 second here, this is a John F. Kennedy alert here, because this is the Simple Simon Metapymen, and but whoever gave that Looney Tune out in the United Kingdom the term captain created has just fed this guy fuel, okay? So John F. Kennedy Jr. Was circled with somebody that wore a mask, okay? And so was Elvis Presley. Didn't take too long for Elvis Presley to see the monster behind the mask. Didn't take too long for John F. Kennedy Jr. to see the monster behind his mask. I can almost guarantee that as soon as he put that ring on it, that everybody, every single ex, especially Daryl Hannah, comes to the surface, and this one would just keep throwing it back in his face. John F. Kennedy Jr. was in a horrific snare. And that's the, for Maureen Callahan out there, this is victimology, but this is her inviting one of the vicious relatives of Elvis Presley into her nest, and that is Donna Presley. It was incredible that John F. Kennedy Jr. was able to pull off that wedding. 30 family members, and not one of them opened their mouth. I just think for this Maureen Callahan to spread gossip that John F. Kennedy Jr. did this intentionally, I think this girl is off the rails, okay? She has a lot of nerve. This is exactly what this person is. This is exactly what I'm talking about. This is the Donna Presleys of the world having the fear of missing out. This is that Maureen Callahan. What a vicious gossiper out there. This particular person, if this Maureen Callahan was your coworker, your ear would be assaulted every single day by vicious gossip. I sit there and wonder, if you're acting like this in front of a YouTube channel, then what do you do behind the scenes? Okay, because he's not here to defend himself, and the self-contained underwater breathing apparatus is the scuba as well. For that diver to go out there on these podcasts, I would be starting a lawsuit if I was in the Kennedy clan, revealing the intimate details of what their bodies looked like. And that is the Juva. I don't understand now I'm going to get a little bit nasty. I don't understand why anybody would be in Camp Marine. This feels like this is Camp Pendleton anyways, but I don't understand why a woman would have that kind of hair color to this day. That somebody was a sharpshooter here, but I don't understand why anybody would want to reveal the intimate details of what JF Kennedy Jr. and Caroline looked like, right? It's just really, it just doesn't end. My God, what is going on here? Because here's my prince, okay? John F. Kennedy Jr. was a prince, Prince Camelot, okay? But he crossed the path of a wicked witch. I think she became a drug addict. She suddenly stopped. This was the Calvin Klein person as well. This is the hoity-toity. He crossed the path of a hoity-toity, okay? There's different levels, different devils, but he was a prince. He was Prince Camelot. That's what he was, the Kennedy. That's what he was. And unfortunately, he crossed the snare of someone really, really vicious that slung mud at him all the time. She likes the cameras one day, and then all of a sudden you get married and you can't handle it. I call bull crap on it all the way. Anyways, he is a prince. He was a prince. He'll remain a prince in my eyes. He was a fantastic New Yorker. He enjoyed New York. And for this fellow New Yorker to smear, this is an incredible smear campaign by Maureen Callahan. You got a lot of nerve. She has a lot of nerve. She probably wouldn't find my content anyways. Wouldn't surprise me as well if Catherine, somebody here. Anyways, I got too many messages coming in here. Wouldn't surprise me if that Carolyn Kennedy, his wife, she may have done some injury to that ankle. I think, I'm not really sure. I'm not making that prediction. Anyways, we'll see what else comes out here, because it is this Maureen. I keep wanting to say Calhoun, but Maureen Callahan, this is the Irish, she's like an Irish setter, sedentary lifestyle, pumping out videos all the time about people that she has no personal relationship with, including John F. Kennedy Jr. There was something else I wanted to say. She's a potty mouth. That Juva Club was a potty mouth as well. But there was something else I wanted to say. It'll come to me. So, I just don't understand. I don't understand. Oh yeah, that's what she is. She's kind of like the male version of that other New Yorker, that shock jock. I can't remember his name with the curly hair. She's kind of the female version of the shock jock out of New York. I can see him, but I can't remember him. The one that Lisa Presley was humiliated by. Everybody that goes under the tutor scope or the microscope of this narcissist is you're gonna be dragged through the mud. And she doesn't even know these people on an intimate level. Times 2, right? I've said it already. I can just imagine who this Maureen Callahan's neighbors are, because this is my fireman card. We saw 9/11, right? We saw how the Americans came together regarding 9/11. We saw it's almost like a tradition with New York, like you wouldn't go against a New Yorker. I'm from Canada, and I know exactly where I was when John F. Kennedy Jr. died, July 16th, 1999. Okay, this is the fireman card coming up here. My mind cannot comprehend. That's the fireman next door. Like I said before, I live behind a deranged person that spreads vicious gossip, okay? If this person is your neighbor, she's spreading gossip. That's Tribeca, the Tribeca. Like, where does your mind go, Maureen Callahan? Where does your mind go that every day You have to post smut and the most vicious stuff spread about John F. Kennedy Jr. Where does your mind go? She just ripped him through to shreds and doesn't know him. He was the apple of everybody's eye in New York. He loved New York. He felt safe in New York. So we have a sneaky Yanni here. John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt. His name is my name too. Now, that could be, well, we saw the helicopters flying over John F. Kennedy Jr.'s wedding. But, you know, he was able to do an incredible thing. But this is smash that like button, okay? Because we still see them out there hovering around Nancy Guthrie's place. I think somebody enjoys shot put here, but I think it's over and done with. It's almost safe to say that this possibly will go dark. Take a look at the sunglasses there, because whoever did this has the same mindset, a little bit kind of like the walkie-talkie out there, just spreading vicious gossip that they know nothing about. That's Elvis Presley's content as well. You know nothing about him, because this is the Fireman Louis card, okay? Just these are the people in your neighborhood. We saw how John F. Kennedy Jr. came out and begged the press to leave he and his wife alone. He did everything right. He took her to Turkey for a wonderful honeymoon instead of Hawaii. But there are twists and turns. When you fall into the snare of that type of woman, you're going to suffer. And it wouldn't surprise me, like there would have been a hell of an argument going on when it was her sister that was 2 hours late. Okay, so we see something here. 2 hours late to, he was going to his cousin's, feels like there's a Rodney Dangerfield around me, but it did become very dangerous. He had no intention to fly in the dark because he wasn't qualified for that. But I can just imagine the huge argument that would have been going on because it was her sister that was late. She and her as well, Caroline, was late to her own wedding for 2 hours. 2 hours late on a dress that she apparently couldn't get over her head. Just makes you wonder, right? So pay attention to people that are consistently late. This is the me, I, my disease. And for that person that in that scuba diver to post that horrific private details of what they looked like in the bottom of the ocean, and even for Maureen to regurgitate it, I'm telling you something. These people have very, very strange, they're just strange. Okay, because I know exactly where I was when John F. Kennedy Jr. died. And I know exactly who I was with. July 16th is this is memorabilia. I knew the lyric that I woke up to was, I can buy myself flowers. That's by a wonderful, she's from Tennessee. I can't remember her name. I can buy myself flowers. Okay, because when you're healing from narcissistic abuse, it can be a very, very lonely journey. And what happened to John F. Kennedy Jr. could have been the same thing that happened to my sister. He didn't realize it until it was too late, because they were going to say it after the wedding, that he started the divorce, because I think he realized the vicious, vicious snare that he got himself into. Okay, because they're very calculating and manipulating. Everything they do, the female narcissistic psychopath, is done for her. Okay, you can't please this type of person, whether it's your neighbor, whether it's in your family. They have an appetite that can't be filled. Okay, so I'm taking one more, and because this is gang stalking as well. To me, it feels like they are gang stalking the Guthries now. You have no business being around the Guthries' house when it feels like the investigation is slow now, something with a slow burn. But that's what happens when you have that kind of psychopath. I'm sorry, but Lauren and her sister maybe both contributed to this. One was late, one was vicious. Caroline, his his soon-to-be ex-wife, She was not, looks good from far, but far from good. Feels like this is like a mini pearl coming here. Maybe, I don't know. Here we go. You know, that's what Elvis Presley got himself in a snare as well. What is it? How does it go? She looks good from far, but far from good. Elvis Presley loved beautiful women. Elvis Presley had women hanging off of him. So did John F. Kennedy Jr. There's only 2 men, and I said this to my husband already, there's only 2 men in the United States that ever had the looks, besides Elvis Presley, was John F. Kennedy Jr. That is undeniable. And he had the pick of the crop here. But unfortunately, he picked someone that became a horrible thorn in his side. We see that to this day with this person's ex-wife, Elvis Presley's ex-wife. Unfortunately, this one went down in a blaze of glory because it was not a blaze of glory, but it would have been horrific to know the last thoughts. That's the King Camelot. He was like a king. That's the Camelot card. Spreading gossip out there about Elvis Presley. Now spreading gossip. These are the sidewinders out there. That's in Louisville. that's around the Elvis Presley world, and it's also around John F. Kennedy Jr. with that Maureen Callahan. Never have I ever. I was just floored. The stuff that she was spewing venom, and she absolutely has no inside information. It's gossip all the time. Because this is exactly possibly what Elvis met and what John F. Kennedy met. This is Betty, okay? She would have definitely, most likely, maybe I'm kind of doing some victimology, but she may have had a list of suitors as well and would have just been needling him. You're not good, you're not this, you're not this, you're not this. This is a very dangerous woman. This one keeps a list of the guys that she slept with. Wouldn't surprise me if we know that's what Elvis Presley faced. Elvis had a huge broken heart after Priscilla left him. And so most likely did John F. Kennedy Jr. because he thought he met his Camelot, and it didn't work out that way. We don't always have the answers to anything, we don't have the answers to anything really, because we're not in control. I don't think that they were soulmates whatsoever. Your soulmate is there to bring you up, not destroy you. She had a huge, these are twinning, we're twinning here. Caroline Bessette Kennedy was a huge thorn in George, the magazine. She became, instead of the rose, she became the thorn. Okay, so that's it for today. Take stock of what you have, because I know where I was on July 16th, 1999. I also know where I was on July 16th, 1977. That's a personal thing, because I was with my prince. Okay, this is exactly what John F. Kennedy Jr. was, and his mother was a fantastic woman. Okay, so this little Maureen Callahan better do her research, because you got to be very careful. You got to be very, very careful, because I'm going to end this video with knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. You never know. You never know what's out there waiting for you. So have a wonderful day. We'll see you when we see you. It's all done. Enjoy.